So I'm saying 3 seconds. I'm calling for 3 seconds. Yeah, I'm going to let you know who in a sec. But before I let you know who deserves to be sacked, let me quickly rewind to my preview vid that I dropped on Tuesday. So whilst you're here, if you get a chance, go and check out the preview vid, yeah? And whilst you're there, I need you to like, subscribe, comment if you enjoy the content. If you don't enjoy the content, let me know in the comments why, same way. But yeah, the preview video that I done, it was on both semi-finals. So the France and Spain game, I said, this game will be won on France's left-hand side and Spain's right-hand side. So that's the same side of the pitch, yeah? I said you got Yamal up against Luka Dean. Then you have Doué or Barcola, I didn't know who was starting at the time, up against Porro. I said, listen, that is where the game's going to be won and lost. We all know what happened. With the England Argentina game, I said the double pivot for England is going to be extremely important because Argentina are very patient. They will probe and probe and probe. Bop it and bop it and bop it. Centrally. They're just waiting for that little bit of space. Messi's just standing in space, just waiting for that little corridor to appear so that they can fizz it into his feet. I said the only time Messi moves, yeah, for the ball out of that little radius, like around the 18-yard box, around the D, around them central areas, the only time he vacates that space is if things are getting, if he's getting a bit desperate, it's a bit too congested, he's not getting on the ball enough, and he needs to make something happen for his team, he'll hang out on the right wing. He'll hang out on the right wing and get space out there. And we all know what happens. So yeah, if you get a chance, just go check out that video so you know. Listen, a lot of people are going to come, you know what I mean, with hindsight. A lot of people are going to start talking the talk now. You go check out that video, you know, this is, yeah, I've been on this hill that I'm about to talk to you about. But yeah, let me get to these 3 seconds. I'm saying Thomas Tuchel. I'm saying Craig Hope. And I'm saying Gabriel Clark. I'm saying 3 seconds. 3 heads have to go. 3 of them. 3 of them. I'm telling you, man, like, how can Thomas Tuchel morph into Gareth Southgate right in front of our eyes? That's what we saw. We saw Thomas Tuchel, the so-called elite manager, morph into Gareth Southgate on the touchline. Mental. But yeah, let me get to it, man. I think, listen, the team selection was spot on, by the way, from both teams. Spot on. Assuming Rice was fully fit. Spence left back, spot on. RJ right back, although he's had a poor tournament, cool. Rodgers right mid. I've go and check my old vids. I've been calling this. I've been saying Rodgers can start with Jude just off of the flanks. At first, I was campaigning for him to start left wing. Then when I saw how Madueke was performing and Saka isn't fully fit, I started campaigning for him for right wing. People were saying he don't play right wing. I said, yeah, go check Tuchel's first game for England. He had Madueke left wing and he had Rodgers on the right wing. And Rodgers performed. I've seen him play there for Villa as well. Okay. Like I said, the proof's on my YouTube, man. Listen, scroll down on them vids, you'll find it. So yeah, I think the starting lineup was spot on. Gordon left wing, spot on. Even Argentina's starting lineup. Bringing in Simeone. Bit of extra threat, intensity. A bit of extra speed, acceleration. I think both lineups were spot on. Obviously, first 20 minutes, cagey game. There was more MMA than football. Forearm smashes and that Enzo forearm smashed Anderson in the back of his head. No booking, nothing. It's crazy. It's mental. But yeah, so the first 20 minutes was a bit of MMA going on. Then Argentina started to bop it. It started to settle down a bit. Argentina's bopping it. But England was looking more threatening in transitions. You had Jude was going on runs, carrying the ball. Again, getting taken out by that same guy, Enzo. No booking. Like, yeah, it was nuts. Simeone, I think, made about 5 fouls in a row. Probably 3 or 4 of them on Anderson, the same person. I think he got one talking to. The ref had a word with him at one point. Okay. But anyway, yeah, that was basically the first half. Like, that was basically the first half. Nothing much happened in the first half. Second half, that's when the chances started. So Argentina started to kind of come on a bit stronger. They had a little chance with Alvarez. Pickford made a decent save to his near post, but the save he's supposed to make. But at the same time, although Argentina was coming on to England a bit stronger, England still looked the more threatening on the break, because now there's more space to transitions to counter-attack. There's more space to attack. And England was sitting fairly deep, but not too deep where they couldn't be effective on the counter. And in the end, it worked a treat, because that's how we got the first goal. So obviously, Kane dropped in, got the ball to feet, tried to play it over the top to Rodgers. It dropped down to Rice. He played it out wide. Rodgers, listen, that cross was pinpoint stuff. Pinpoint. Beautiful cross. Straight to Gordon. He's 6 yards out. Back in the net, 1-0. This was about 55, 60 minutes in. Yeah. England retreated. You know when you're watching like Game of Thrones and they say, fullback, retreat. They retreated to the 18-yard box. I don't ask me why. Don't ask me why. 60 minutes, they retreated to the 18-yard box. Don't ask me. I don't know what happened to Jordan Pickford's big mouth that don't stop. Jordan Pickford normally lives on his 18-yard. Jordan Pickford is normally standing on his 18-yard box. But now he's on his bar line, on his goal line, and he's not even, from what I saw, he wasn't telling his defenders to push up. John Stones, they brought you in for experience, centre-back. They brought you in to start for the experience. Why are you not pushing the team up? Do you know what I mean? So, yeah, they've gone back to the 18-yard box. There's like minimum half an hour of normal time left to play. Recipe for disaster against Argentina. You want to keep a team like that as far away from your goal as possible, because that's where they're less of a threat. They ain't got the pacing behind you. But if you allow them to sit in and camp in and around your 18-yard box, they're going to bop it. They're going to find gaps. They're going to find pinpoint crosses. And that's what happened. So, yeah, man. It was just like... And listen, when things ain't being adjusted on the pitch by the players, naturally now it's time for the coach to kick in. It's time for Tuchel to start earning his bread. Start earning your money. Don't turn into Gareth on the Saturday. But instead of doing that, he started to morph. He started to morph into Gareth. He started to morph, turn into one long nose, turned into Gareth. I don't get it. We was waiting for the finishers to come on. Or the one player in the England squad that we've got that knows how to control the game, that knows how to dictate tempo, that knows how to bop it, that knows how to slow it down, kill the momentum, speed it up. Kobbie Mainoo. But no finishers, no Kobbie Mainoo. Instead, we got Konsa for Gordon, the best player in transitions. Does that make sense? We end up with a 5 at the back to make things even worse. So now we're doing 5 at the back. Now it's gone from 18-yard box. So, when the ball's out wide for Argentina, we're on our 6-yard box. We're on the 6-yard box when the ball's out wide. Listen, for the next 40 minutes, if you include extra time, because we played up to 110 minutes. So if you include extra time, for the next 40 minutes, England had 12% of the ball. That's a fact. That's a statistical fact. 12% of possession for the next 40 minutes. 40 is basically a half of football, 12% of possession. Like, this is unheard of. Under constant pressure, probing passes, long shots. Enzo's just taking shots at will. Pinpoint crosses from Messi and Tuchel. Because what you have to remember, while we are doing negative substitutions, Scaloni is taking Tuchel to school and doing positive substitutions. And they're affecting the game. He brought on the left back straight away. He got a header, got in front of Gay, header. Pickford made a decent save. Again, a savable save though. Commentary's going crazy like he done something mad. Like, but if that header went in, it wasn't in the corner of the goal. If that header went in, we would have been saying like, why? How did he let that in? What he done well is he got a strong hand to it, so it didn't allow them to get a tap in. He got a strong hand to it away from his goal. Give him props for that. But yeah, like the Paul is whipping in beautiful crosses. All Scaloni's substitutions are making an impact on the game. And now Messi is on that right wing just dictating. But what does Tuchel do? Throws on Dan Burn. Throws on O'Reilly. Three defenders he put on. 3 defenders. Before he put on any attackers. 3 defenders. It's crazy. I'm telling you, it's crazy. If it weren't for the woodwork, couple of half-decent saves, as I said, a couple last-ditch tackles, the scoreline could have been embarrassing. McAllister hit the woodwork twice. Listen. Anyway, after 85 minutes, the inevitable happened. A side foot. Let me tell you again. A side foot 20-yard shot. So a shot from 20 yards out. A side foot shot, mind you. From 20 yards out. Manages to beat the so-called greatest English keeper ever. How does that make sense? It didn't go top bins. It didn't go side netting. And it was hit with a side foot from 20 yards out. And you lot want to tell me this is England's greatest keeper ever. All right, cool. 1-1. And then on the 92nd minute, Messi, for the first time, switches it up, goes down the line on his right foot, swings in across. Lautaro Martinez, another substitution by Scaloni, finishes the job. 2-1. Game over. Game over. In the end, negativity, man. Negativity saw England lose. Like, teams like Argentina, you got to keep them as far away from your goal as possible. You got to keep them running back to their own goal as much as possible. You got to play the game in their half as much as possible. Even if you don't have possession, you got to keep your line up high so that even when they're bopping it in their half or not in the final third. Nowhere near your 18-yard box. I tell you that. They don't have the speed to punish you in behind. So you can do this with confidence. You can be aggressive. Alvarez, Martinez, Messi, they're not going to run away from our defenders in behind. Especially when Spencer's on the pitch making them crazy recovery tackles and whatnot. Gay and centre-back. Come on, man. But you have to be brave. You have to be brave. And when we're not being brave, you've got to look to the management. You've got to look to the sidelines. The manager's got to give you that. He's got to make some changes which makes you say, yeah, let's go. Do you know what I mean? Not damn burn Konza And O'Reilly, come on, man. Like, Tuchel's got to go. He's got to go. And listen, if you look at listen, yeah, I forget, even take away today's game. If you look at the bigger picture, Argentina and Spain are in the final, yeah? And unlike England, they don't rely on moments. They control the controllables, which is the football. You can't control moments. Moments are going to happen or they won't happen. And on a day like today, when they didn't happen, we've got nothing to fall back on. We've got no substance. We've got no like, Argentina and Spain, they play with a deliberate purpose. No matter the opposition, from the first minute to the last minute, there's a deliberate purpose to their game. We're just trying to make it through. We're just trying to survive. We're just trying to get over the line. That's how it looks anyway. Like, there's no... After 7 games, how many games we played this World Cup? 7 games, I'm pretty sure. We had 3 in the group stage. We had the round 30, last 32, last 16, quarterfinal, semi-final. We had minimum 6 games. I think we had 7. Still don't know England's style of play. If you know England's style of play or identity, let me know in the comments, because I don't know. And we've only seen them in their flow state for about half an hour against Croatia in the second half. Every other team has been a struggle until that moment. It's been a struggle. If you take away those moments in totality, it's been a struggle. And within that struggle, there's no deliberate purpose. There's no... Because even when Argentina are struggling against teams, they're playing exactly how they played us today. There's a deliberate purpose to their gameplay. There's no deliberate purpose to our gameplay. Like, so, again, that falls on the manager. He literally morphed into Gareth Southgate. He morphed into the PE teacher himself. Getting over the line with sheer will and desire, like, damn, burn, Konza, bring them on, bish, bosh, bash. Mate, you can't be getting paid all that money to be doing that. That's Sunday League stuff. That's grassroots football. Which brings me back to his squad selection now. Let's go. Now we can now talk about it now. The squad selection. Yeah? Which focused on a particular profile, pace and power, ignoring all the technical ball players that think the game. Apart from Kobe Mainoo, you selected him for the squad, but you didn't play him. Any technical ball players that actually think the game and don't just rely on athleticism, you just ignore them. Which is fair enough, yeah. You see, if it's like, which is fair enough to a degree. But in a 26-man squad, for me, there's no excuse not to have different looks within that 26-man squad. And you declared that you're going to have your 14, 15 starters. So that's minimum 10 more players left. And within those 10 more players, you didn't think to have different looks just in case your 14 to 15 starters ain't getting the job done. Instead, you got like for like. So when you're making your substitutions, your arms are almost tied behind your back. Like, you can't really... It's harder to change the game because the players you got coming on are the same, similar profile to the players that have just come off. But the players that have just come off have come off because it's not working. So yeah, we can... Yeah. 26-man squad, and every one of them is based off of the same profile. It is lunacy to me. Lunacy. Everyone shares similar attributes. Lunacy. And don't get me started on the risks that he took, bringing players that are half fit, bringing players that are injury prone, being wrong and strong and stubborn when it's time to, when you get a chance to call someone up. You bring Chalobah and just make him bench warm. You could have called. Come on, man. On top of those injury-prone players, you're bringing players that ain't played no games all season. So they're basically gaining their match fitness at the World Cup. That's basically what John Stones had to do. He had to play his way at the World Cup into match fitness within the warm-up games and a couple of games at the start. That's how he gained a slight bit of match fitness. This is lunacy, man. Lunacy. So I'm saying off with their heads, man. 3 sackings. Tuchel, Craig Hope, Gabriel Clark. Love.